Okay, welcome to Fit After 40 Velo. My name's Andrew Updike, and I have just kind of opened up this YouTube channel to work with people or show people kind of what I do for my physical fitness, lifestyle balance. So yeah, I'm kind of just beginning here. I probably share a lot of Zwift type events on here. It's the middle of winter here in Colorado. I live up in the mountains of Colorado, so it's cold and snowy. I think yesterday was a high of like, I don't know, 16 degrees Fahrenheit. Doesn't stay that cold all the time. It's actually going to warm up over the next couple days. I think we're going to get up into the 30s and 40s Fahrenheit, of course. So, but cycling outside is not really an option unless you want to ride a fat bike, and I'm just not into fat biking. I like mountain biking, and I like road biking. And I like running as well. On the nice days, if it melts kind of where the bike path is, I'll go run on that. But for the most part, running outside is not much of an option either, unless you want to run in icy snowpacked trails or sidewalks. But as you get into spring, or get out to, my wife and I go out to Moab with our kids, and I'll get some mountain biking in out there. So of course I'll be recording some videos of mountain biking, maybe some running, once that kind of happens. And then when we get into the summer, of course, I'll take you along with some rides outside and maybe some races. Gonna sign up for the Leadville 50-mile mountain bike race. I want to get in the 100. I'm not gonna get in through the lottery this year, so my only hope is to get in through the 50 and get one of the lucky draw coins at the end of the event. So that's kind of the plan for the summer. I've got a triathlon in Frisco, Colorado. That is not a real triathlon. Oh, I don't say it's not a real triathlon. You can't swim in Lake Dillon, so it's a stand-up paddleboard followed by like a 12K mountain bike ride and then a 5K run. I did that last year, and that was a lot of fun. Man, that was so much fun. I didn't think it would be as fun, but it's one of those things. It's an hour and a half effort between the three events, so it's long enough to feel like an endurance event, but not so long that you really have to worry about nutrition or hydration or anything. You could do the whole thing probably without any water if you wanted to. And I did pretty well. I thought I beat the time that I thought. Of course, the first time I ever did it, so I didn't really have a clue how fast I was going to do it. But we can talk more about races and stuff like that as we get into it. For now, I'm just kind of warming up. Today's going to be zone 2. I've spent all this week riding the 3 stage 1 Tour de Zwift events. Kind of did zone 2 on the group rides. Of course, the race I went hard. Did okay on the race. I forget what the Cat B separation is for Tour de Zwift, but it's whatever it is. I'm towards the lower end of my scoring. I think I'm 473, 476 is my ZRS score. So it's got me at the lower end of the Cat B. I think I finished the race middle to the upper half of the race I was in. So today is really just going to be zone 2 focused. I don't want to call it easy ride. It's a zone 2, so yeah. But I'll end up and jump in with a pacer, just trying to put a bunch of hours on my KDEX triathlon bike. I just bought this not too long ago. I did reach stage 1 level up on my KDEX, so gotta keep putting those hours in. I think I need 380 more minutes of activity on this, so a 3-hour zone 2 ride will help get me there to get to stage 2. But I'll jump in with a pacer group, probably 1.5, just because on a triathlon bike you don't get the draft benefit, and for me zone 2 is somewhere between 2.2 and 1.8 watts. Usually keeps me right in that zone 2 heart rate, and but with the tri-bike and no drafting, I'll have to join the 1.5 to stay in that 1.8 to 2 watts per kg area. It's fine. Then I don't care. I like staying on the pacer group. Kind of keeps a nice even effort. So yeah, we got 6 minutes in the warm up. We'll keep going here for another couple minutes warming up, and then I'll jump into that pacer group. Stick around. Glad you're here. All right, well, we're an hour into the ride. Things are going good, just a nice steady state ride. For me, zone 2 has really increased like the amount of power I can put out and stay in zone 2. When I first started, riding it was go hard every time, or it ended up go medium every time, because I'd never go hard enough to be in the real high intensity state, and I'd never go easy enough to build a base. So I always had a real high heart rate, even at easy watts, which is kind of what we're calling this. With the warm up, I'm averaging 1.56 watts per kilo on this ride so far, and it's like I said, relatively easy. But before I started focusing on zone 2, 6 laps. Before I started focusing on zone 2, my heart rate would have been 150, 160 right now, just trying to hold this effort. And I'd be able to hold that for, a good hour and a half. But when it comes to building a base to do high intensity stuff to then build your FTP, I found that many hours of zone 2, mostly heart rate focused for me. Probably not right, I'm no expert, I really don't claim to be, but I focus on heart rate, and just try to keep a good steady state effort, keep the legs turning, a few little efforts here and there to stand up just to give my butt a rest, but other than that, just slow and steady wins the race, I guess. Now, if you're still sticking around, I really appreciate it. I'm a new channel, so if you can, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, bell notification, all that stuff. We'll see if we can grow this channel and get into some other topics about, fitness and cycling and running and lifting to some extent. Hate lifting, hate push-ups, sit-ups, calisthenics, but it's a necessary evil, especially as you get into the 30s and 40s, 50s, trying to maintain or put on a little muscle mass. It gets harder and harder as you get older. So, hey, thanks for sticking around. We're going to keep plugging away here. Alright, well, 2 hours into the ride. Thank you if you're still here. Hopefully I was able to speed up the video and you haven't sat here for 2 hours. But no matter the case, I appreciate you watching. Like, comment, subscribe. One thing I guess I want to talk about is I've got a Zwift ride, and I like it for the most part. The only thing is, if I don't do a spin down nearly every day, the cadence, it gets really wacky, and it doesn't pull the power off. Like, when I stop pedaling, so I'm pedaling right now probably right around 80 RPM, and if I stop pedaling, it hangs out 65, 72, 122, 116 RPM, 112, 120, like, and it says I'm doing 21 watts at that kind of RPM. I don't know, I'm not sure how to fix it. I know it's based on tension. I'll probably just end up and get a separate cadence meter. But yeah, that's one of the only things that I'm not real happy with it. I've had it for 9 months now. And it's awesome. It's nice to not put the wear and tear on my personal bike. I had a wheel-on trainer, just an older kicker, and it worked okay. Same thing though. I had to spin down on it quite a bit, or else it would just kind of wander and be off by 2, 3, 5%, something like that. But no, if anybody else is having those kind of issues with their Zwift bike and you figured out how to fix it without putting a separate cadence meter on, I'm all ears. I'd sure like to know. Alright, well, we're gonna keep on going here. Get after 40 Velo.
Right on!
Alright, well, there you go. 25 laps around the volcano circuit. A little under 3.5 hours. 528 meters of climbing. All zone 2 with the 1.5 watts per kilogram pace group. Feels pretty good. Pretty happy that we've got this much done. So I'm gonna cool down, but until next time, have a great day.